thank the parents for trusting us with your children and allowing us the opportunity to teach them something and to maybe raise their awareness about autism as well. So thank you to the parents. We appreciate you. Let's come on over here. And most importantly, thanks to the parents that participated in the documentary and opened up their homes and their lives and let us in and allowed us to tell the story. And if you guys would stand up and be recognized, I'd appreciate that too. Get some bass. Thanks. It was a really cool journey with those kids, and I think it's very impactful on all of them. And it was a great opportunity for them to like see inside of something and really explore something that I feel like that most kids kind of overlook with gaming and movies, and it was really great to have this opportunity. So thanks to you two as well for all your hard work and for developing something so special in the Crossroads area.
I thank you for doing it. It's I thought one of the greatest things was being able to expose the kids that were at Trinity to the kids at the Vine School. I thought that was one of the most impactful parts of the whole process. But you guys put in a lot of work, and we really appreciate it as well.
And I just want to say thank you to the students at Trinity. You were respectful and delightful to work with. They always came and worked very professionally with our staff, did their job, but didn't get in the way of what we needed to do on a daily basis. So I thought that was wonderful, and they were just a true testament of the maturity and the respect that they had for everybody.
Really, I mean, the bulk of the age of the bulk of these kids, we say 8 to 18, but essentially it's 9 to 12-year-olds is the biggest group. I mean, there was some older kids. My son was 15, I think, at the time, and Kat Till, who came, she was 16, and she was from San Antonio, but other than that, it was really like 9 to 12, 13-year-old kids. So really amazing job, and just all so willing to learn, which I think, Eddie really covered, like this. It's amazing watching these young kids like totally grasp on to this technology and like get it immediately. Like they're so easy to teach. It's great. So I just want you guys to like talk a little bit. I mean, we do touch on it in the documentary, but just kind of the process of like, it's one thing to say, yeah, we founded the Vine School and we did this, but like really, break it down. What was the process, and like how long did it take to really get things put together and get the funding? And
well, it started. Aaron was Mabry's teacher in a PPCD class in the public school. So Mabry was 5 when we first met Aaron, 4 and a half, 5. And so the public school has a program called PPCD, Preschool Program for Children with Disabilities. And when the child turns 5 and is going to be 6, then they need to be phased out of that program. They either need to go into a life skills program, or they need to go into a classroom with an aide. I think it was pretty obvious to all of us that Mabry was not going to succeed in a classroom with an aide. And I needed to be at work, but Melody went to the day where she went and visited a life skills class, and I'll never forget getting the phone call from her. She was like, "That is not going to happen to our child. She is not going into that program." And so that's why in the interview part, I was basically saying there's a void. There's a middle road there where children are able to learn. They're able to do wonderful things. Don't belong necessarily in a life skills program, but also are not appropriate for a traditional classroom. And that void is where the Vine School exists. As far as how long did it take, the first thing we needed to know is if Aaron was willing to leave the safety and structure of public school to take a chance on a program that could have failed, and to see if she was willing to do that, and to see if we had enough other families that were willing to leave the ISD and then go to the Vine School. The financing part of it wasn't as scary for me because I come from the world of finance. And so oddly, certain things probably weren't as scary for Aaron, the curriculum and the day-to-day activities in the classroom, and then certain things weren't as scary to me. We were an amazing team. We both kind of rubbed each other on the back and patted each other on the head at different points in the process. And then, of course, we had contacts in the community that all helped us accomplish things that we didn't have specialization in. So many, many people that we would come and talk with said, we want to help you. And so wherever we found somebody that reached out to us, we latched onto them and took that. So I will tell you, though, that from the time that we sat at P.F. Chang's in San Antonio and said, we need to do this, and then drove home all the way to San Antonio to Victoria talking about it, from the time that started to the time that the doors opened was probably 5 months. 5 months.
Wow.
It's definitely one of those meant to be things, because every door opened to us. It was just, the ball just started getting rolling, and we applied for our 501c3, heard back from them in like less than a month. It just, everything that could happen did happen, and it just fell into place.
That's amazing.
It was just, it was really amazing.
Well, and again, a testament to this incredible community that we have at Victoria. I think that all of us have had this kind of experience where we reach out to our community and you find the people who are your supporters, and there's always somebody willing to help, and that's, I can't thank the community enough. Like, we have an incredible support network, and we live in a great place. We're really
I have to say,
5 months. I thought you were going to say like a year or two, which would be like, that would even be fast in my mind. Like, that would be like, wow, in 2 years you put it 5 months. That's incredible.
It was the fastest 5 months of my life, but it was great. But I didn't get a whole lot of sleep.
Right.
But
Right.
whatever. But
Get that.
going back to Victoria, though, do you think at your age you would be able to do an independent film festival at your age, right?
Excuse me?
I'm just saying, you're a young guy.
That's not what you were saying.
It is. I think that Victoria allows, this is one of the things I think, is that there's no way, that schools like this already exist in Houston and in other big cities, right?
Right.
But we were able to do this, at our age and say, hey, we have an idea for something, and raise our hand and then go out and do the work. And we were embraced by this community to do that. We're still embraced by this community every time we go out into the community and try to raise funds for our ongoing operation. I think this is a community that opens their arms to, to new things.
Well, I think people have the propensity to acknowledge passion, and it's very infectious. Passion is, when somebody has an idea and they're very passionate about it and it's for a good cause, I think that people want to latch onto that and want to support that, because I think all of us have passions and all of us have dreams, and know that not all dreams come true, and that when people's dreams do come true, if you are just a part of making someone else's dream come true, then yours is too, in a way. And you're kind of taken along on that journey with those people. And I think all of us want to be a part of something that's greater than ourselves.
I think also it's so hard, especially in this community, to not know somebody as autism. As we know in the media, it's the numbers are increasing at a rapid rate. And so it's really hard, especially in a community of our size, not to know somebody who is affected by autism, whether it be your neighbor or your niece or your grandchild. So
Right.
I feel like everybody somehow is touched by autism and wants to help.
I agree. Let's open it up to the audience and take some questions. I'm sure some folks have some questions, and they're just afraid to raise their hand. Big waltz. There we go. Hold on. Wait for your mic. You projected in this theater.
wanted to answer your last question first. It's hard for us to know exact numbers of children diagnosed with autism in our community because, first of all, a lot of we don't have a developmental pediatrician in town that really does a lot of the diagnosing. Most of our parents and families go either to Austin or San Antonio or Houston or to other resources. A lot of times those, as a lot of our parents can attest, the waiting list to get into a lot of these clinics are 6 to 9 months, maybe a year wait. So you have a lot of kids that are walking around without a diagnosis. Our school district doesn't diagnose till the age of 6. So again, you've got a proportion of children under the age of 6 that are walking around without a diagnosis. So the Vine School as a whole, we really try to stay away from the why. We just try to focus on how to make these children's lives better. There's so much in the media today that has to do with vaccines, and I saw something the other day that had to do with dog bones. I mean, and exposure to certain things in our environment. I think it's a two-pronged process as far as we're getting better at diagnosing, but I also, my personal belief that there is something going on in our world, in our environment, that is making the incidence of increase. So, without being too political or anything like that.
Yeah, the why has become politicized, and as a result, as a school, we've decided to absolutely remove ourselves from that. We've got enough work to do dealing with a number of kids that have this disorder, and so we got enough to do to be distracted by that argument. It takes away from our goal, and so we just don't engage in that conversation.
I think that is the best thing you could possibly do. I think it's really dangerous to engage in and politicize what you guys are doing. I think that.
But you do. I mean, there was a statistic at the very end there that 1 in 68 right now. A year ago, that was 1 in 88. So I mean, we can't turn our heads away from that. This is an issue. I mean, this is a rapidly increasing issue.
Just bring us the kids.
How many students do y'all have?
We currently have 12 students. We opened our doors with 4, so we've tripled our enrollment. It takes a certain type of child to be at the Vine School. We can't accept, autism is a spectrum disorder, so we're definitely there for a certain type of child on the spectrum, where we try to provide services that are unique, and it takes a lot of staff to make all of that work together. So we like our size. We like kind of being the little engine that could. We want to grow, but we want to grow in the right way.
And they have an incredible summer program. My son is probably on the spectrum somewhere, Jet. He's going to be 8 soon, and he actually went through the PPCD program and was kicked out and kind of repeated kindergarten, and then was at the Vine School in the summer, and they just pretty much, Aaron said, take him home, put him in a classroom, and he's actually thriving in the classroom and doing really well, reading at an incredible rate, and he's, his AR score is like, but that time at the Vine School was really critical for us because we were at a crossroads where we were just like, something's going on. We're really concerned about what happens next with him, and we're very fortunate that his communication is like super high functioning, and it's a blessing. So, yes, Coach Tripson. That's his favorite seat. You're just back in the back, man. I dig that. I know where to find the Tripsons. They're back there.
Keep an eye on you, Tony. Where are the 35-year-olds, the 40-year-olds, the process, and what is a resource, a book we can read to understand its early beginnings? And where is the institute or where the research being done to find out what happens at conception, or what happens through diet, what happens through the environment that would lead to this? Is there such a thing?
Autism Speaks has an excellent website that really has a whole separate website that is just dedicated to research and the different research projects that are going on, and they are numerous. I mean, there are a lot of people doing research on autism right now. So I would definitely refer to that website first, and you can learn a lot about it. As far as the 35 and 40-year-olds, the adults with autism, they are there. Unfortunately, a lot of them are not probably functioning where we hope that our kids that we're servicing right now will be when they're that age. These are kids that were in our school system several years ago where they really were kind of warehoused and isolated. So unfortunately, they're missing out on the opportunities to be in our community, a lot of them. We hope, as we grow with our students now and enroll more students, that we've set up job opportunities and work programs and opportunities for them to be out in our community, because that's really how they learn social skills, is being hands-on. So we're hoping to kind of bring that as a part of our program in the future.
There are a large number of families who keep their special needs child at home, and you never get to see them, okay? Because they're not welcome at HEB. Because, you know, my wife has sat in the HEB line and been chastised by people in the line behind her about Mabry's behavior. And so that only, for some people, not my wife, but for some people, it only takes once, and they never see the light of day again. Now, my wife, if you say something to her in the line at HEB, you better be wearing your flak jacket.
It's something else to think about, is that a lot of these children that become adults on the spectrum, their parents age, and when they die, you know, where do they go? A lot of them have been in the past institutionalized, things like that, but I feel like our world as a whole is really making a larger push to open up residential facilities that, again, really focus on social enterprises and work programs and things like that. There's an excellent resource outside of Houston called Brookwood Community that I'm sure a lot of people have heard about in this area. They're doing a great job, another great resource to look at for adults.
We have time for a couple more.
Could you tell us where the Vine School is located now, and how do we as a community help you?
Sure. When we opened our doors, we were at Methodist Day School. We rented some space from them in the second story. 2 years ago, or going on 2 years ago, we moved over to Town and Country Shopping Center. So right at Laurent and Airline, we're on the back side of the shopping center. We have a great space over there. We love our new home over there, and we actually just installed our playground about 2 weeks ago, so that's just been another excellent step for our students. Ways to help: we have our fundraiser, Top Chef, April 10th. We'd love to see all of you there. It's an excellent, fun night, good food, raising funds for our students, especially for our tuition assistance program. And then we accept donations of all sorts and sizes. As far as monetary donations can always be sent to the school. We also, if you have children that have aged out of their toys and their materials, we accept donations of that as well, gently used, of course, but our kids range in development from the infant age all the way up to, you know, age 13 right now. So we use a varying amounts of materials.
thevineschool.com.
You could donate there as well.
Last question, right up there. The last thing I just wanted to say was, you know, going through the footage, the kids edited a lot of little clips together when we were teaching the editing process, but in the end, I felt like, you know, to really give, you know, an impactful documentary and compact it all into, you know, 22 minutes, that I wanted to take a pass at the editing and kind of cull through the stuff they had done. And what I found as I, like, really got into this was just, that we didn't really touch on, was just how this affects the families and not just the kids, but like you know, there was several times that it was expressed through home interviews, and which really worked out well, because I felt like that really gave them an opportunity to, you know, say and be honest and like really open up. When it's just them with the camera, it's a lot easier when somebody's standing there prompting you. But like, there's just so much more behind all of this as you start peeling back the layers, like the family side of it, and just knowing with Jet, I mean, he's super high functioning, and like we're so lucky to have, you know, him the way he is, and my heart really goes out to the families. Like
Well, I know you called me and you said that it was tough going through that stuff, and I know that it is, and I appreciated that it was you in charge of this project because I knew that you had an interest in it. So, you know, we, like I said at the beginning, we appreciate everything you did with it. I know that it was, at certain points, it was really hard on you, and so we appreciate it.
Well, no, not nearly. I mean, it was very touching. You guys, you're very strong.
Anthony touched on it before, but I really want to take the opportunity to thank the families. I mean, that takes a lot of courage and honesty, letting us have cameras in your home and follow your children in the educational setting. So again, thank you so much. I think it brings a lot of awareness, a lot of insight to what it's like on a day-to-day basis with your children. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot. So if the kids and the parents would just come up here real quick and be recognized on stage, I think it's really essential that everybody sees who these little kids are and how much work they did, and let's give them a round of applause. So you guys please come up here real quick, all of you on the project. This stage. Where are my kids? Where's all my kids? I see one sitting right there. She's not even busting a move. Beatrice, come on. I know we got some O'Neill kids out there. Would they? Oh, well. Jade. Come on up, you guys. Frommy, I know you're here, Coleman. My own kid isn't even coming up here. So shy. Well, y'all, thank you so much. And if you just, here, introduce yourselves.
I'm Sienna Sims.
I'm Beatrice.
Jade Beck.
Abby O'Neill.
And so we've got another really special treat next. We've got a film that was huge, many Oscars, a lot of attention, and it was The Blind Side, and we're very fortunate to have Mr. Quentin Aaron, star of The Blind Side, who played Michael Orr, with us to do a Q&A after the film. But so he and I will be up here after the film to do a Q&A, also with Eric Martinez, who's traveling with Quentin. They just did a big deal at the Boys and Girls Club, an anti-bullying campaign, and Quentin has a foundation that I'll talk more about when we introduce the film. So you guys grab a drink and hit the bathroom and get back in, and let's watch The Blind Side.